Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Produce Buzzers podcast. We are so happy you have joined us today, and I think you will be too after the show is over, because you will learn a lot about fresh fruits and vegetables, how to select and store them, how to prepare and cook them, and surprising facts about their history and origin. We hope it inspires you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, not only for your health, but also for your delight and pleasure as you explore their amazing world of taste and delicious flavors. Eating more of them will transform your life in so many positive ways. So settle back, relax, and get ready for another delicious adventure with the Produce Buzzers. Greetings and welcome to another delicious episode of the Produce Buzzers podcast. I'm Edwin Stepp, your host and executive editor for ProduceBuzz.com. I'm joined once again by Teresa Nolan, the founder and president of Produce Buzz, along with Rick Stepp and Cynthia Benedetto, both contributing editors to Produce Buzz. Now, Produce Buzzers podcast fans, we're telling you today to beat it. But that's not spelled B-E-A-T, but instead B-E-E-T. Yes, today we are rooting for our favorite root. That's right, we are digging deep into the world of beets, the veggie that stains your fingers, confuses your taste buds, and somehow ended up in both salads and desserts. From beet farming to beet recipes, beet myths to beet pop culture, if it's about beets, we're talking about it today. So whether you're a beet freak or just beet curious, grab a snack, sit back, and let's turn up the fun. Well, beets may not be the flashiest vegetable in the produce aisle, but they're certainly one of the most nutritious and versatile. Whether roasted, pickled, juiced, or blended into a smoothie, this deep red root packs a powerful punch of flavor and health benefits. Beets have been around for thousands of years, evolving from wild plants into the sweet, earthy root vegetable we know today. Their journey spans ancient civilizations, medieval medicine, and even wartime sugar production. The story of beets began in the Mediterranean region, where their wild ancestor, Beta vulgaris, grew naturally. Early civilizations, including the ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans, primarily ate the beet greens rather than the root, because the root was small, fibrous, and not nearly as sweet as today's varieties. The Romans were among the first to cultivate beets for their roots, recognizing their medicinal and culinary potential. They believed beets could cure fevers, improve digestion, and even act as an aphrodisiac. The Latin poet Ovid even hinted at beets' connection to love and romance. So perhaps beets were the original Valentine's treat, as we talked about them last week in our Valentine's Day episode. During the Middle Ages, beets were widely used in European herbal medicine. Physicians prescribed them to treat blood disorders, digestive issues, and skin conditions. Their deep red color also contributed to the medieval belief in the doctrine of signatures. That is, the idea that foods resembling body parts could heal those parts. Since beet juice looked like blood, it was thought to strengthen the blood. In the 18th and 19th century, saw a major beet breakthrough, the discovery that beets could be a source of sugar. In 1747, the German chemist Andreas Marggraf isolated sugar from beets, leading to the rise of the sugar beet industry. When Napoleon faced a British sugar blockade, he encouraged widespread beet cultivation in France as an alternative to cane sugar. Today, sugar beets account for a significant portion of global sugar production. Now, beets may seem like a humble root vegetable, but they've carried deep symbolic meanings throughout history, literature, and culture. From love and vitality to mortality and revolution, beets have been more than just food. They've been a powerful metaphor across eras and traditions. With their deep red blood-like hue, beets have long been associated with love, desire, and fertility. In ancient Roman times, they were considered an aphrodisiac, and lovers would exchange beets as tokens of affection. Even today, some cultures believe that eating beets together can strengthen romantic bonds. In literature, beets often represent deep, earthy emotions, passionate love, lust, and even obsession. Their vibrant color makes them a natural stand-in for the heart, pulsing with life and desire. The striking red juice of beets has led to their symbolism in relation to blood, vitality, and strength. In medieval medicine, beets were believed to cleanse and fortify the blood, making them a metaphor for health and resilience. And in some traditions, beets juice is used in rituals, symbolizing renewal, energy, and the cycle of life. In literature and art, beets can be used to signify survival and endurance, rooted deeply in the earth, yet full of life giving properties. Beets have also had a mystical reputation in folklore. Some traditions believe beets can foretell the future or bring good luck when planted at the right time. In Slavic traditions, beets were sometimes placed under a bed to ensure a strong marriage, and in some cultures, they were used in love spells or rituals. The way beets bleed when cut has also contributed to their eerie, almost supernatural reputation in some stories and legends. Whether representing love, life, death, or revolution, beets have taken on a rich array of meanings throughout history and literature. They are earthy yet intense, nourishing yet unsettling, a vegetable that can symbolize both the simplicity of life and its deepest, most complex emotions. They are also a nutrient powerhouse, rich in fiber, folate, potassium, and antioxidants. Their vibrant color comes from betalains, plant pigments known for their anti-inflammatory and detoxifying properties. They're also great for heart health thanks to their natural nitrates, which help lower blood pressure and improve circulation. We'll talk more about the health benefits of beets a little later, but today our produce buzzers have come ready with their favorite beet recipes. So let's dive in, produce buzzers, and teach our listeners, give our listeners some good recipes to enjoy these wonderful superfood of beets. Who wants to start today?
Were you going to say teach our listeners a lesson?
I don't
For
know what I was going
sure.
to say. I was improvising that completely. So.
Yeah.
And I don't know that any beats have been. Was it provocative that you said? It was like they're good, but like they're not that good. Come on.
Now that was what they believed in the ancient world. You may have missed it, but the poet Ovid, ancient Roman poet, Ovid hinted at beets' connection to love and romance. And they
Okay,
used to
that
they used
okay.
to exchange beets in the Roman Empire, as between lovers would exchange beets. And we missed that last week on our Valentine's episode, but we hinted at it. But a
Mhm.
little more research this week revealed that.
Well, I'm not sure that that would be the gift I'd want for
No, that's
Chocolate
it.
covered beets would be very good for I almost said Halloween. I guess if you're a vampire, they would be good for Halloween.
That would
For
be interesting, a chocolate covered beet.
Actually, that probably wouldn't be half bad insofar as uh like it's the right consistency if it's roasted and it's sweet. And then how many times have you gotten a chocolate covered strawberry and thank goodness it had chocolate on top, because if not it was like eh.
Good point. Good point. Beets probably never have that problem, I bet, if it's roasted, because
Yeah.
they have so much sugar in them that they've got to come up sweet, probably almost. I've never had a roasted beet that wasn't pretty sweet. That's my point.
right.
True.
Okay, so Rick, what have you got today for your favorite beet recipe?
Well, I've mentioned this in past podcasts, so it may be repetitive, but for the people out there who think it's too hard to cook beets, it's actually one of the easiest vegetables you can cook. And if you have one of these Instapot pressure cookers, you can, from preparation through cooking time, you can have them ready in 30 minutes.
Hmm.
So you just wash the beets like you're normally going to do when you prepare them and cut the tops off and then leave the root part on. And you want to use beets that are consistent in size because that way they all cook properly at the correct time. If you use large beets with smaller ones, it'll work, but there won't be as good of consistency in
Makes sense.
their tenderness.
You
Yeah.
can cut them to size though, can't you?
Yeah, you could. Yeah. You
Yeah.
could just cut them down to size. And a lot of people don't want to cut beets. They're so hard, to cut them before they're cooked is,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know,
good point.
it's a little bit harder, but not really an issue, I don't think. But
Yeah.
then you just put those beets, put 1 cup of water in the bottom of the pressure cooker, put the beets in, cook them for 15 minutes on high. Then you let the pressure reduce normally without releasing the steam pressure. You just let them cool down after you cook them for 15 minutes. Turn it off, let them cool down naturally, and then uh, and do that 10 to 20 minutes depending on the size of the beets. Then you release the steam and take the lid off, pull the beets out, put them on a plate or a cutting board, and cut them however you want. If you're going to make a salad, you may want to cut them into cubes. If you want sliced beets on the plate, you could cut them into slices. And then you can use those for any recipes that you want that require cooked beets. So you could if you cut them into cubes, you could put them in a salad. Uh, you could quarter them and put them on the plate with uh, other menu items, like even a steak or chicken. Um,
What about when do you when do you peel them?
you peel them after they're cooked, but honestly,
Okay, so it slides off, right?
yes, that's right. Do you know I never peel them. I just I just eat them like they are, but a lot of people I think would prefer to peel the beets and then cut them up.
I think that no, I agree with you. I think that if you don't peel the beets, then you get uh, a more like, I taste like the grit or the
Yeah.
growing medium, if you will.
Hmm.
You did say
Yeah.
wash them, but beets you
Because
really
I
have to
don't think
wash.
that you could ever like, yeah,
Beets you really
yeah.
have to
But even if
wash
you
them
scrub it like with
vigorously.
a brush,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still. I think the flavor it's different if you're doing a baked potato and the 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 peel gets crunchy or you
Hmm.
know, there's good taste to a potato peel,
Hmm.
whereas like the beets I found like no.
Yeah. And that outer layer of skin comes off easily after they're cooked. So that's another advantage of putting them in the pressure cooker. They're easier to peel afterwards and easier to cut up afterwards, obviously.
Why do you leave the root on when you're pressure cooking them?
Well, it's easier to cut off
Oh,
when you're done.
okay.
I
That's
wonder
one
how
part I
that
left out.
flavors it. It must add some kind of flavor to it.
It probably does. Yeah. Uh, but
And
yeah,
these,
you don't want to eat actually I eat most of the roots myself. I love the flavor.
Mhm.
Just the fiber, the roots at the very bottom, they're like hair. You don't want to eat those probably, but the part of the beet that is still the same consistency as a regular beet, that part of the root is actually okay
yeah.
to eat.
And
Yeah.
these come out more like a boiled beet in texture. They've retained all the moisture. You probably have a
Yeah.
lot of beet juice left in the Instapot.
Yeah. That cup of water you put in there
Oh, that's right. You
turns
put
into a
water.
juice. And
Yeah.
uh, often I'll just pour that juice into a coffee cup and heat it in the microwave and drink it like a tea or a broth. Actually pretty tasty.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
would
lot of
imagine
sugar
so.
in there.
Yeah.
Add some bourbon to that, you're golden.
I have done that before. Seriously. Not, I've put brandy with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
okay.
really not that great. It's I'd rather drink the brandy straight and then chase it with the beet juice.
So no. I was gonna say so no brown liquors with them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think it I mean, you could probably put vodka in there and it would be fine. Kind of like, what would that be similar to in a vodka drink?
Cosmopolitan. They use
Yeah.
cranberry juice. We use beet juice. It would look like a cosmopolitan too. And the thing about vodka is that the vodka is supposed to be pretty much tasteless. I mean, that's
Yeah.
make it from anything. They make it from potatoes and make it from grain. They make it from all kinds of things, but it's supposed to come out but almost tasteless. So
Yeah.
that would probably work better with something like beet juice.
But really, the beet juice is so good just by itself
Yeah.
that it
Yeah,
would actually ruin the flavor in some cases.
it would for sure.
Yeah. And
We've
you know
got
what?
to.
I'm going to experiment with taking that beet juice and making a dressing with it. Take it and put some balsamic vinegar mixed 50-50 and
See, I
yeah.
would disagree. I don't think that you need the balsamic vinegar. I think that you need a lighter vinegar.
Oh, okay.
Or just olive oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Well, Rick's going to experiment. He's going to get back to us.
I'm going to do the
What
chocolate
do we
covered beets too.
He's not
Yeah.
joking. He's going to do
Okay. All right.
it. All right.
So,
Well, very good. That sounds great, Rick. Very simple. But yes, once you have those beets and the way you prepare them, they can become very versatile,
mhm.
as you said. Use them in all kinds of things,
Right.
salads, just side dishes. Okay, well, Teresa, do you want to go next and give us?
Yeah, yeah. I have a spinach and beet salad recipe with chicken and orange balsamic dressing.
Mm.
So, uh, the first thing you do is preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Wash, and I peel my beets because just can't seem to get all the dirt off of them. It's just too hard.
Yeah.
And then I cut them into equal sized pieces and lightly spray them with some avocado oil. Then I bake them for 35 to 40 minutes um, until you can actually pierce them with a fork. And meanwhile, I am marinating some chicken breast in Italian dressing. And I'm going to grill that for 20 minutes. Uh, the longer you marinate the chicken, the better. So you might want to do that in the refrigerator before you start your prep. And so we've grilled the chicken, and then I'm going to make up my orange balsamic dressing, which will have a teaspoon of orange zest and 2 tablespoons of orange juice, 4 tablespoons of honey, and that's for Cynthia because she likes sweet.
Thank you.
A pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And this makes a really sweet dressing. So then I assemble the salad with, I take spinach, I throw in walnuts and blueberries and onion and, any other things that you like in your spinach salad will add to it. I top it with the orange balsamic dressing. And, oh, we have to put the beets in there too. Make sure your beets are in there. And then we top them with walnuts. And if you can eat cheese, feta cheese is great on top of this.
Oh yeah, that would work well.
So makes a nice meal in itself
Right.
and very healthy.
Yeah, you wouldn't need anything else. You got plenty of protein, both from the
Yeah.
walnuts and the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great.
That
Yeah.
is.
Nicely done. Yes, I like that.
Okay.
Very good.
I might have to make your dressing and then add the beet juice on top of that.
You probably could do that. Yeah.
What's your size on the beets when you cut them up for
Well,
this salad?
you just want to make them uniform
Yeah.
mainly. So if you've got one large beet and then two smaller ones, which seems to be the way when you buy a bunch of beets in the store, they usually and
Agreed.
you
Yes,
don't
yes.
always get three that are equal size. So just cut, maybe cut the smaller beets in half or quarters, and then try to cut the larger beet down to size to be equal
Yeah.
with the smaller ones. That
But
would be
since
Or
it's
my.
you
in that,
make it the size of the walnut, like so that it can fit on the spoon.
That's a good
Well, yeah.
suggestion. Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't think you'd want it too large unless you want it to dominate the salad, which I guess in a sense you are saying this is a beet salad, so maybe it should.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
just
but
curious.
it would have to be like it should be the same size as the chicken and the walnuts and the so you can't have like a big this, little that, big that.
Right. It'll be harder to eat. And we all know
Yes.
we don't want beet juice all down our front. We might need to wear an apron while eating if we do.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you, Teresa. That sounds like a delicious, delicious recipe and not too difficult to make. Uh, okay. All right,
Mine's
Cynthia.
really easy to make.
Oh,
And it's
great.
a nice addition to whatever protein. Uh, you could have another vegetable. Yeah. And but I think that this one is the best because it's beet fritters. So
Ooh.
everything is perfect to be fried. Like everything's better if it's fried. But anyway, if you just grate that up, and you could use yellow beets. I don't know if you could mix them together. I don't know if the color, like once yellow beets are fried, I don't know if that modifies the color too much. But so if you grate the beets, add some flour, salt, and pepper, and an egg to for holding it together, and fry them. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I don't know if that could pass for a Passover, potato latke. I don't
Right.
know. But I mean, like, it might be something nice to add, again, the, quest for always a color break.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
that's
just fry those up and boom.
right. Yeah, that does sound. And so, why not do half red beets and half golden beets, and then you've got a little color variation.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Therein lies, like, yeah, you could like stack them and you'd have two options, if you will. Like, yeah, I have two vegetables, a red and a gold beet.
Now, did you say you also grate carrots in that, or did I miss that?
Oh, you know what? Didn't I miss that one? Yes. Add the carrots for that, just for a little bit of different of a taste, and just to add more bulk, if you will. So you're just not ODing on
Yeah, I would think that makes
beets.
it a little healthier too. I mean, beets are packed with nutrition, as we're going to talk about in a bit. But
So
uh,
adding carrots to it is going to make it healthier.
well, you're getting a different composition of things
Okay.
with the carrots. So
Okay, fine. I'll give you that. Yes. But
yeah,
I'm
I don't
saying,
know.
like, you like it's beets are pretty big on their own, but okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Maybe you could add some potatoes also. That would give it a little more crispiness, I would think, wouldn't you?
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, potatoes and
It
beets.
so in one fritter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only issue would be the way that it fries.
Uh-huh.
So because the potatoes from in my house they're going to be pretty crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be darker, like, at best, very dark brown. So
So
I
you're
don't
saying
know.
that potatoes will cook faster than the beets and carrots. That makes sense to
I
me.
don't know if they would necessarily cook faster, but I'm cooking them longer. Like when I order French fries, it's like, um, keep them in the fryer, until you think they're burned, and then keep them in there for 5 more minutes because they're not enough for me.
Yeah, that's why I
So,
like mine too. Extra crispy.
yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, beet fritters. Who'd have thunk it? That's a
Mm.
good one. That's a new one. Sounds good. And of course, getting your getting your fried food.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. How about fried chocolate covered beets? That's something you'd see at a fair.
Yeah, they do like some very, odd
Everything's deep
things. Like,
fried.
yeah, hey, don't mess with deep fried. I missed the funnel cake this year, but they did have some crazy stuff that like even I wouldn't try. Yeah, like, and we're way past deep fried Twinkies. We're talking like, this and that frozen that's dunked in like a frying a batter, and then, but like.
Yeah, deep fried Snicker bars.
Yeah, like that. Nah.
They're deep frying every type of candy now at these fairs. I haven't been to a fair in a long time, but the last time I was there,
Which in
couldn't
of
believe it.
itself, like if I like the thought, but like that's not going to work.
Okay, what about deep frying beets? Has anybody done that before? I've never heard of deep fried beets.
I'm sure they'd be very good.
Put a
Because
batter
Well,
like I
on
said,
wouldn't,
at the fair, they deep fry anything. I
but
mean,
what wouldn't the fritters
Well,
be
that's
considered?
yeah, that does. But I'm just thinking, maybe you wouldn't want them to be too big, but maybe just a small. Of course, I guess
Well,
you could
what?
slice them up like French fries
Yeah, or
in
you could do
strips.
it like when you go eat tempura at a Japanese restaurant.
All
That
right,
they would, they
very
put
light
in there
battering.
like carrots or sweet potatoes.
Yeah,
So,
they do. They tempura every kind of vegetable.
tempura.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Sorry.
and I looked it up, and there are recipes online for chocolate covered beets and chocolate covered sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll be waiting for those for Rick. Make them up and send them to us.
yeah, chop chop.
The thing that sounds interesting about that is, strawberries are kind of tart. When you eat them by themselves, they're very sweet, but then when you put chocolate on there, the contrast makes the strawberries taste very tart. But with a
But
beet,
see,
it'd still be a sweet
mm,
flavor.
Yeah.
but see, that's what I disagree. I don't always think that strawberries are sweet.
Right.
Sorry, sorry,
It's
sorry
the
for
contrast.
Grown.
Chocolate, if you have chocolate that's got a lot of sugar in it, there's a big contrast in flavor with the
Yeah, but
straw.
that's kind of like, you know, drinking orange juice with your maple syrup. It tastes terrible. Like you don't
Yeah.
want the contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, strawberries can be so sporadic. I bought some
Hmm.
this week. They were on sale and they were edible, but they were pretty bland. I
They
was
were
very
not like
disappointed.
those Driscoll sweetest batch last week. Holy smokes. That was the
They
best
were
I've
good,
eaten.
huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Okay, well, Cynthia, thank you so much for your wonderful, I almost said apple fritters. Thank you so much for your wonderful beet fritters. That sounds delicious, easy to do, and probably a lot of umami in those when you eat them. So thanks for that. Well, I've come up with a recipe that I think is a little different. It is somewhat like a salad, but it's not quite a salad. This is creamy golden beets and apples. So this combines the golden beets, and then you probably want to use a red skinned apple to give it the color. If you use a golden delicious or an opal apple or another, a Granny Smith, you're not going to get as good color break. So I love my Fuji apples because they're so consistent in their crispness and juiciness. Another one I like a lot is the Cosmic Crisp, and they cook fairly well. So, and they have a good bright red color to them. So I recommend that. So you need about, three medium golden beets. You peel them and dice them into small cubes. and then maybe 2 apples diced into also small cubes about the same size, maybe a little bit smaller. Then 1 medium onion. White onion is best because it's got that zest to offset the sweetness of the apple. And you dice that as well. You put all of that into a bowl with some olive oil, a little salt, and sage. A little bit of minced sage, I think, works really well with this. So you preheat your oven to 425, and then after tossing those beets and apple and onions with the olive oil, you put it into a baking sheet, press it down into a baking sheet, and then put it in the oven at 425. Roast that for 20 minutes and toss it about halfway through. Sprinkle a little bit more sage on it, and then roast 8 to 10 more minutes until they're tender and golden. And then there's a dressing that goes on it. So this does become like a salad. The dressing has coconut butter, olive oil, white wine vinegar, lemon juice, sea salt, and some lemon zest to really set it off. And you mix all those together. And once your roasted beets and apples are done, pour them out, pour the dressing over it, and mix it all up to the amount of dressing that you want. You don't want to overdo it because the dressing might overwhelm it. But that makes a really nice side dish to just about anything, any other kind of entree that you want to put it. Chicken, beef, fish. It works well with all of those. So that's my offering for a nice, unique, I think unique, beet recipe.
Very good.
Well, we talk about beets being powerhouse nutrition, and they are. They are known to support heart health, improve brain function. They aid in digestion and gut health. They support liver health, great way to detoxify your liver. They boost the immune system. They support healthy skin and anti-aging, and they can help with weight loss and metabolism. And there's quite a bit of evidence that they can help fight cancer, although it is not confirmed completely, but there is evidence that has come that it does support or does help fight cancer. Beets are high in vitamin C, folate or B9, and B6, and the vitamin A, and also vitamin K. But the vitamin K comes primarily from the greens, which we didn't talk about today so much. But the beet greens are edible. And I think in a past episode, we did talk about using beet greens. What do my produce buzzers think about beet greens? Do you ever use them?
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
I always think I'm going to use them and then I don't because
That's what I
like
did too.
the last beets I bought, the greens were so large that I thought these might be really tough. I guess they could be cooked.
Yeah, you have
And
to
that
cook
might
them
be the
down,
best way.
saute them, sort of like
Yeah.
spinach, I think is the way I've done it.
Yeah.
How do you fix them, Rick?
Well, I take them and cut them up fresh and then put them in my microwave steamer.
Okay,
Yeah.
of course.
But you can steam them over the stove too.
Yeah, right,
Cook them like you do your turnip greens or collard.
Mhm.
You have a
right,
good
right.
way of doing it.
Do you
But yeah,
think they're,
they're very good. They soften up if you steam them or
yeah,
cook them. Yeah.
how are they in the bitterness category? Some turnip greens can get bitter.
I don't think it's any more bitter than turnip greens or collards.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Interesting.
but you can also stir fry them.
Right,
If you
that's what
make
I
it
said.
soft.
Saute. Well, stir fry is a little different than sauteing. I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or either way, I mean, you could saute them. Uh, just look up recipes online. There's plenty of recipes for cooking the greens.
right. Got it. The other thing that the beet greens have a lot of is calcium, which of course we know strengthens bones and also supports heart and muscle function. Some of the other minerals are potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure. I read that uh, oftentimes if you just drink, you're talking about your beet juice, Rick, if you just when you drink that beet juice or put it in beets in a smoothie, your blood pressure can come down almost immediately by drinking that. I've saw that quite often online. So that's the potassium in it, I guess, that does it. They're high in that. They're high in magnesium and iron and manganese. Manganese helps with metabolism, bone health, and it's an antioxidant. And copper, which supports energy production and nervous system functions. Athletes now are really starting to turn to beets for performance enhancement. I don't know if you've seen a lot about this or much about this,
They even
but
have supplements instead of eating the actual beets. People take a supplement made from the beets.
right. I wonder if that's as effective. Probably
I,
not, but
yeah,
it's probably better than
never
nothing.
tried it.
But apparently, it improves the oxygen flow, so
Right.
that can increase the endurance, and it reduces fatigue, so it enhances the muscle efficiency, and also speeding up recovery because of the anti-inflammatory properties after a hard workout. Beets can help you recover more quickly. So it is certainly a powerhouse nutritionally. So don't overlook those beets, listeners, when you're in the produce department. You know, you're picking out your potatoes, you're getting your onions, you're getting all those staple things. Take a walk over to the beet section, see what's
Mm-hmm.
there, and they're not as hard to cook or work with, and they're going to have a lot of benefit for you in health and in flavor. What else, Produce Buzzers? You want to do anything else about beets you want to offer our listeners today?
It's like you said, they are a lot easier to prepare than you think.
Yeah,
And it can be daunting to try to cook them yourself, but it's very easy.
yeah,
So go for it.
right. And I recommend, I mean, there's nothing like red beets and golden beets cooked in some fashion together. You know, the color is just magnificent when you put them together and the
Mhm.
flavor too. So don't overlook there's quite a few different kinds of beet varieties out there. But in most grocery stores, you're probably only going to get the traditional red. The golden beets I see fairly
Mhm.
often, but not consistently. So you may have to search those out a bit further to find them. But anyway, so we
You can't
hope.
really beat them.
Is
Ho,
that our
ho, ho.
homegrown today?
Uh,
Do we have a homegrown?
oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay. Well, world famous fruit and vegetable rapper Nicholas Beet recently won a big award at the Fruit and Vegetable Convention. He then was interviewed and he credited his amazing ability to churn out rap poetry to a talent he inherited from his famous great grandfather, who was also famous in fruit and vegetable clubs across the farm. So
Oh my.
why would he think that his great great grandfather was the source of his talent? And what was his grandfather's name?
This has got to be the most complex homegrown that we've had. I love it. It's so layered, so structured. There's so much depth to it. There's so many plots. There's several different narratives overarching one another here.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
let me see if I can. So, what was the rapper's name again? Something Beat?
Nicholas Beet
Nick
Rapper.
Nicholas Beat.
Rapper.
Is that a
Now,
real?
is that his name, Nicholas Beat Rapper, or is he just a rapper?
Well, that's what he goes by in the big
Okay, got it.
vegetable wrapping
All
industry.
right. All right. So Nicholas attributes his talent to his great grandfather or his grandfather,
Great great grandfather.
who is a member of all these vegetable clubs.
Yeah, he was famous in the fruit and vegetable clubs across the farm.
Okay. So, and
Across the farm.
Yeah.
this has something to do with this famous Nicholas Beet rapper's talent.
Great-great-grandfather. Yes.
Oh man, this is really tough. Uh, what was his? No, what did he do, and what was his name, or what?
What was his name? Yeah.
Just what was his name? Is all we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. Why did he think he had inherited it from him? What was his name? Yeah.
Oh me, beat Nick. He was a beat Nick.
You got it.
Oh really? Beat Nick. I did. I got it accidentally. I was.
Can't believe that.
Well, that was his name, or
Yeah, that was
or what he
no,
was.
He was both.
Okay. Beat Nick. Got it. I just stumbled into that one. I just think.
Yeah, that's where you go. This is probably one of the worst.
Oh man, I'm laughing because it was so unbelievable stumbling into it. But yeah, that's great. Beatnik. He's one of those beatnik poets. Okay. As Graham Chapman of the famous or infamous Monty Python group would say, stop this. It's getting way too silly. Okay. Yes, so we must stop. We're getting too silly. But thank you, Produce Buzzers, for your contributions today. And I hope you listeners will beat it. Well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Produce Buzzers podcast, brought to you by Produce Buzz, the gathering place for lovers of fresh fruits and veggies. We hope you were entertained a bit and educated a lot about fresh produce. Be sure to join us next time, and please tell your friends to do so as well. Like, share, and comment on our Produce Buzz Facebook page. And check out our website at www.producebuzz.com. There you will find articles about fresh fruits and veggies, how to select, store, and prepare them, as well as lots of interesting facts about all the wonderful bounty the earth provides for us. Until next time, be fruitful and don't forget to veg out.